16-year-old boy kills his own mother, then drives to school with a rifle, walks through the door and opens fire. 2 students die, 7 more are wounded, and if one man hadn't stopped him, dozens more could have died. This is the forgotten school shooting that came before Columbine, the Pearl High School massacre. Pearl, Mississippi. Just another small town most people drive past without noticing. But for the 22,000 people who called it home, it was everything. Familiar streets, Friday night football, and neighbors who knew your name, and your dog's name too. Life moved slower here. The Winn-Dixie closed at 10. The water tower was the tallest thing in town, and if anything made the local news, it was probably a bake sale or a lost cat. At the center of it all was Pearl High School, where teenage life played out in locker-lined hallways, cafeteria tables, and football fields. The commons buzzed every morning with gossip, nervous crushes, and last-minute homework. Friday nights lit up the town. Everyone gathered at Ray Rogers Stadium to cheer for the Pearl Pirates. You could smell the grill smoke from tailgates, hear the brass section echo into the night, and feel the bleachers tremble with every touchdown. It was the kind of place where nothing truly terrible ever happened, or so people thought. That's what made what came next so unthinkable. On October 1st, 1997, a 16-year-old boy would shatter that illusion forever. First at home, and then at school. Before the morning of October 1st, 1997, before the gunshots echoed through the school courtyard, there was a boy, a quiet boy, a lonely boy, a boy who laughed at the wrong moments and stared a little too long. His name was Luke Woodham, and if you asked classmates back then, they'd say he was weird, awkward, or off. But behind that awkwardness was a storm that no one truly saw coming. Luke didn't grow up with much. His parents divorced when he was very young, and he lived with his mother, Mary Ann Woodham, in a modest house near Pearl High School. His older brother had moved out, leaving Luke and his mom alone most days. He was smart, that was obvious. Luke loved to write, especially science fiction and stories about misunderstood characters. But instead of admiration, that creativity became fuel for mockery. He wore thick glasses, had a soft voice, and didn't fit in with the jocks or the class clowns. He was often the punchline, not the storyteller. Luke longed for connection, but mostly he got rejection. At home, things weren't any better. Luke's relationship with his mother was tense at best. Some described her as controlling. Others said she was verbally abusive, criticizing everything from his clothes to his voice to the way he walked. A family friend later testified that Mary Ann once slapped Luke in public for not addressing her properly. Another said she called him useless and a waste of time. Whether those stories are exaggerated or not, one thing is clear. Luke felt deeply unloved, and that lack of love, it festered. By the time he was a sophomore, Luke had stopped trying. His grades dropped. His once creative short stories turned darker. He began skipping class. Teachers wrote him off as lazy. Peers ignored him. Nobody knew he was unraveling. But the thing that pushed Luke to the edge was love, or at least what he thought was love. Her name was Christy. Blonde hair, bright smile, popular. For a short time, they dated. It gave Luke something he hadn't had before. Someone to talk to, someone to walk with between classes. It made him feel normal, but Christy broke up with him, and to Luke, it felt like the final betrayal. He believed she had used him, humiliated him, and spread lies behind his back. Friends say that after the breakup, Luke spiraled. He became obsessed with winning her back, then angry when she ignored him. His journals began to take a darker turn. Phrases like, "Love is just pain in disguise. They'll regret treating me like this. I'll show them all." He started talking to someone new, someone most people didn't even know existed. Enter Grant Boykin, a mysterious figure in this story, and one who still leaves more questions than answers. Grant was a former Pearl High student, a loner, just like Luke, but he was darker, more radical, obsessed with the occult. The two connected through mutual frustrations and outsider status. Some reports say Grant manipulated Luke, pulling him into a twisted belief system, calling themselves the Croth, a made-up cult that worshipped pain, chaos, and revenge. Luke wrote letters describing himself as a soldier of Croth. He believed he was on a mission, not just acting out of rage. A week before the shooting, Luke handed in a short story for a class assignment. It was called Rampage. In it, the main character kills his mother, then goes to school and opens fire on classmates. The teacher read it, gave him a passing grade, and moved on. No one said anything. No one asked questions. That story would soon become a script, and Luke, its actor. We like to believe that people snap, that they suddenly become monsters. But the truth is, most don't snap, they slowly unravel, and sometimes we watch them do it without ever realizing how close the fuse is to the end. On the night of September 30th, 1997, Luke Woodham made a decision, a final one. By now, his anger had curdled into hate, not just for his classmates, not just for Christy, but for his own mother. And in his mind, she had to die first. Mary Ann Woodham was a 50-year-old former English teacher, sharp-tongued, devout, strict. She raised Luke alone after divorcing his father. Some saw her as proud and protective. Others, especially Luke, saw her as controlling, even cruel. He claimed she belittled him constantly, that she called him worthless. In one of his seized journals, he wrote, "I love my mom. I just wanted to be free of her." It's hard to know how much was real and how much was distorted through the lens of a deteriorating mind. In the early hours of October 1st, while the rest of Pearl slept peacefully, Luke was wide awake. Around 6 a.m., he walked quietly into his mother's bedroom. First, he bludgeoned her with a baseball bat. Then, using a knife, he stabbed her repeatedly. Later, he would tell investigators, "I didn't want her to feel pain. I didn't want to do it, but I had to." She died in her bed. Luke cleaned up the blood as best he could, then wrapped her body in a bedspread. He left her there, lifeless, in the room where she had raised him. On his way out the door, he paused. He later claimed to have said, "I love you, Mom. I just had to break free." After murdering his mother, Luke gathered his tools, a .30-30 deer rifle, over 100 rounds of ammunition, a knife, a trench coat, extra clips, a plan. He loaded it all into the trunk of his mother's Chevy Corsica, and then he drove to school, as if it were just another Wednesday. His classmates were arriving too, laughing, textbooks under arms, planning for class. They had no idea what was coming. At some point before leaving, Luke left behind a handwritten letter. It was rambling, philosophical, and chilling. Excerpts read, "I am not insane, I am angry. I kill because people like me are mistreated every day. I didn't do this because I hate the world. I did it because it hated me. I am the nothing. I am the void. Goodbye." The letter was later found and used as key evidence during his trial. Some call it a manifesto. Others call it a suicide note that never followed through. Around 7:50 a.m., Luke arrived at Pearl High School. The parking lot was already filling up. Students were heading to the Commons area to hang out before first period. Luke parked the Corsica. He sat inside for a moment, breathing, waiting. Then he opened the trunk, grabbed the rifle, and walked toward the building. At 8 a.m., Luke Woodham stepped into the crowded school and pulled the trigger. At exactly 8:06 a.m., Luke enters the building. He's wearing a long, dark trench coat, and he's carrying that rifle. The first shot echoes through the Commons. Confused students turn. Some think it's a prank, but it's not. The bullet tears into Lydia Kaye Dew, 17 years old. She collapses where she stands. Without saying a word, Luke fires again. Christina Menefee, his ex-girlfriend, is struck in the chest. She tries to run, but her body gives out. She falls near Lydia, bleeding out on the floor. In the next few seconds, Luke fires again and again. 7 more students are hit, some in the legs, one in the back, one in the face. One student breaks her ankle jumping out a window, but she keeps running. The entire commons erupts into chaos. Books are thrown, desks flip, some students scream, others just stand there, frozen. The shooting lasted less than 60 seconds, but the damage was already done. Luke turns and walks out of the school like nothing happened. He gets into the same Chevy Corsica he arrived in. His mother's car. Her body is still lying dead in their house, wrapped in a bedsheet. He has a second target in mind. Pearl Junior High School, just 2 miles away. His plan is to keep going, to kill even more students, this time younger ones. But someone is waiting for him. Inside the school, Assistant Principal Joel Myrick hears the gunfire. He knows exactly what it is. He runs to his truck, unlocks a hidden compartment, and pulls out his .45 caliber Colt pistol. Myrick takes position near the school's parking exit. Just as Luke tries to drive away, Myrick steps forward, gun raised. He orders him to stop. Luke swerves, loses control. Myrick moves fast, opens the car door, pulls Luke to the ground, and holds him at gunpoint until police arrive. Back inside the school, paramedics rush in. Students are carried out on stretchers. Teachers are still in shock. Some students are missing shoes. Others are covered in blood, not their own. Lydia Dew is pronounced dead on scene. Christina Menefee dies at the hospital shortly after. 7 other students survive, but not without scars, both visible and invisible. For the people of Pearl, Mississippi, it was the day their innocence shattered, and it was only the beginning of the questions. What caused a 16-year-old to murder his mother, then open fire on classmates he once called friends? What warning signs were missed, and how many more lives could have been lost if Joel Myrick hadn't stopped him?
This is more important.
Man, my friend got shot, Mr. Pam.
Yeah, there's my friend over there.
I just talked to her this morning.
Shortly after 8 o'clock this morning, teachers try to console students after the unthinkable happens at Pearl High School. 16-year-old Luke Woodham shot his estranged girlfriend with a rifle, then opened fire in the crowded hallway.
Walked over in front of the library and just started unloading it. Doom, doom, doom.
This teacher witnessed her students caught in the crossfire.
People were frightened and the students, everybody ran. I'd rather not say anything else.
Police are saying the high school sophomore showed no remorse. He left a note as to why he chose to end the lives of his loved ones and classmates.
We have a statement from him, his so-called manifesto, saying that it's over because he felt he had been wronged.
Police soon learned the violence started around 5 this morning. They went to the Woodham's house and found his mother, 50-year-old Mary Woodham, dead. The substitute teacher had been stabbed several times. Neighbors suspected something was wrong when Luke, not his mother, got into the family car early this morning and backed into a tree. Those who lived here are having a hard time believing Luke is responsible.
It's such a shock because he was such a quiet boy. My daughter, it says that he would have been valedictorian of his class this year. You never heard any ruckus out of him. You never saw any trouble whatsoever, from him. It's just such a shock.
Nearly 24 hours after cracks of gunfire silenced the morning buzz at Pearl High School, Luke Woodham stepped into the sunlight for the first time since being arrested. Security was tight. Police officers flanked the Pearl High sophomore, and he wore a bulletproof vest just in case.
We were concerned about his safety as well as anyone else's. It was just a precautionary matter. We didn't feel it, it was anything would happen, but we wanted to make sure, do everything we could to protect him in case.
Woodham took an uneventful ride to the Pearl Municipal Court. It was in stark contrast to the wild ride police say he made just a day earlier. Police say Luke Woodham killed his mother, then drove to school. He allegedly brought a gun with him, and a little after 8 Wednesday morning, police say he used it. When the shooting was done, 2 students lay dead. 7 others had been shot. There were more reporters than spectators at Woodham's court appearance Thursday, where he answered charges of murder and aggravated assault. Luke Woodham showed no emotion as he answered the judge's questions. He said that he does understand the charges against him. He entered a plea of not guilty through his public defender. It lasted less than 10 minutes. The judge denied Woodham bond. He'll once again see the light of day October 14th for another court hearing. Meanwhile, people in Pearl look for help in putting the pieces of shattered lives back together. Chris Pallone, JTV 12 News, Pearl.
Detective Hirschfeld and Mr. Luke Woodham. Mr. Luke, I'm going to read you your rights on video again, even though I've read it to you before, correct? Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to the lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to you or to represent you before any question if you wish. You can decide to exercise these rights and not make any statements or answer any questions. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you wish to talk to me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, have I promised you anything at all?
No, sir.
Okay. So you got up this morning, and what happened at the house?
My mom was in bed. I went into the kitchen. I got the pillow. Went to the kitchen, got a butcher knife. Went to my mom's room, put over her head, and stabbed her to death.
So why'd you stab your mom?
She never loved me.
She just picked
You know, always. She always told me I wouldn't amount to anything. She always told me I was fat and stupid and lazy.
Wasn't good enough?
Wasn't good enough.
I understand.
She blamed me for my dad leaving. She blamed me for my brother hating her.
How old is he?
His birthday was Sunday.
How old is he?
24. She used to blame me when me and him would get in fights. He'd always pick on me, always beat on me when I was little.
He's bigger than you? Yeah. I got a bigger cousin than me. He used to tell me that one.
Yeah. And she just thought that it was all my fault. I couldn't do anything right. And the more I read, the smarter I got, the more she hated me. Because I'd outsmart her all the time. And she just hated me. And she'd always get an attitude with me. She was never there for me. She always ran out on Friday and Saturday nights and be out with her friends and with guys.
You were there by yourself?
I was there by myself, just like reading. And
got mad. This happens day after day.
Every day. Every month. She wouldn't let me do anything, but she could go out and she could party. And you know what? By the time I got to the junior high, it just builds up, and I hated just everyone. But I tried to be nice. I tried so hard. And it's just my 9th grade year up here. She always just was against me, just always against me.
So what you're now is 9th grade?
No, sir. I should be in 11th, but I'm in 10th because I had so much going on my first 9th grade year with my mom. I just could not keep my books down. I just could not do anything. And
so what happened this morning?
Well, last night. No, actually, it wasn't last night. It was probably about Sunday night. I got in from work, and the world just got into me. I just said, I really just don't care anymore. I started just not giving. I just stopped caring Friday for some reason. I just couldn't figure out. I just stopped caring, and because people at school thought I was on drugs or something because I just didn't care about anything. And so the weekend, I just usual thing, just read and play this. I got a Star Wars role-playing game kind of thing going. It's okay. And I'll play that a little bit. And, but last night I just decided I'm through it. I didn't want to kill my mother. I didn't want to, I do love my mother. It's just, I wanted revenge on Christina. And my mom wouldn't just, no, sure, Luke, take the gun, take the car. You gotta understand, I did not want to. It's just the only way. That's the only.
All right, Luke. Here's what I want to do. I want to go from this morning and pretty much get to how we led up to today. Okay.
All right.
Tell me, what time did you get up this morning?
Well, I woke up this morning around 5.
Okay. What happened?
Well, I guess I kind of just. I want to say I was planning for this, but yet not. I didn't really want to. It's just...
Why would you have been planning for it?
I wanted to do this. I wanted revenge on Christina.
Christina, and who's Christina?
Christina Menefee. She's my ex-girlfriend. We broke up about a year ago. And
Church feelings. She go to Pearl.
She's the first person I shot. Got her right in the heart.
Okay. So you got up this morning. It's okay, calm down. So you got up this morning, and it was kind of going in your mind?
Yeah, I kind of planned saying, you know, I'd always joke around since we broke up, I'm going to get her back, you know? I mean, I really meant to do it in my mind, but yeah, I didn't want to because it wouldn't be right.
Yeah. I mean, you know the difference between right and wrong.
Yes, sir. Then the next year, that's when I met Christina. This was last year.
Okay. Y'all in the same grade?
No, sir. She was younger than me. I had known her before then. When she was in junior high, her and another girl that I was friends with at the time, me and another one of my friends, we were going to go to the junior high graduation dance or whatever. She was going to give me Ozzy Osbourne tickets. I went with her, so Ozzy, you know, yeah. I wanted to go see Ozzy, but we ended up not going. But me and her stayed friends, and she had become like my sister. I loved her more than any other thing on this earth. And then a friend of ours set us up, and you know, for a while it was perfect. I mean, nothing went wrong, nothing. I actually had somebody to love, and somebody loved me. First time in my life, only time in my life. And then she just all of a sudden one day just broke up with me. And I was devastated. I was going to kill myself. The next morning I had a gun, not the 30-30, but there's another one that's in a closet in my kitchen, and I had it in my mouth. And one of her buddies called right then. One of her buddies called and asked me if I was okay. They were at the school commons and using the phones in there. And I told them, yeah, I'm okay. And then a few minutes after that, I just maybe there's some reason I'm alive. That's what I figured. And then another friend of mine called me, and he's graduated now, but he called me and made sure I was okay. And he came over and we talked and stuff, and he made me feel a little better. I didn't want to kill myself.
That's good.
And so then that night, Christina called me. She was talking to me. She was telling me how sorry she was and stuff. And I was still in love with her. And so I just, you know, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, not yes, ma'am, but you know. And so the next day we got back together. But I don't know, it was just the second time. This is what pushed me over the edge. She just always, all the time.
So did something happen yesterday?
No.
At school? Or?
I'm sorry. Explain the whole thing, sir. She'd always flirt with other guys. She'd always do all that kind of crap right to my face. She'd always tell me how cute other guys were and all this kind of crap. And it just gets to you. I mean, I loved her. And she just didn't care. And finally, she went on a choral music trip. And she flirted with one of the guys there. She let her wash her change and all this kind of crap. And they hung all over each other. And she came back and she told me all this. Told me. And then she dumped me again. And ever since then, I've never been the same. And
when was this?
That was last year, like a week before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And I mean, you can ask anybody at school. They'll tell you, I really hated the world. Outwardly, just walked around just like I was going to do what happened in school. That's what it looked like. How many people were surprised? Because probably no one, because just the way I acted. And I tried to be nice, and a few people liked me, but a lot of people were scared of me. And most people just hated me. They just did. And it all built up inside of me over time. People always picked on me. They always called me gay and stupid stuff like that. And I tried to find somebody else. Went out with another girl, Melissa, and she wasn't there at school today either. But it turns out the whole time we were going out, she was making fun of me behind my back. And I mean, they just, and, and so we broke up, and I always, every day, had to face Christina and Melissa every day for almost a year. And over the summer, I kind of got better because, after my birthday last year, this is right before I started going out with Melissa, I got a job down at Domino's Pizza. Yeah. And they all liked me. They all thought, I always do my job. I was real nice. And I just worked all summer and read. And, I really didn't go do much, just work and read and sleep. That's all I really wanted to do. That's all I cared about anymore. And this year, I tried to be friends with Christina ever since we've broken up. I tried to be friends about 3 or 4 times, but she'd be my friend for a little while, but usually it'd only be because she didn't have a boyfriend. And you know how women are like, yeah, you only call me what's here. Yeah. You only call me when you're down. That's what Bush said. And it just all builds up over time. And no one at school likes me. Some people do. For sure, gonna have some friends, but I didn't shoot at anyone who ever did anything who was nice to me. And I knew that once I killed her, that I knew I was gonna snap. I just wanted to kill her. At 7:50. I walked into the commons. I had already written. How do you know it was 7:50 when the list house? Because I saw the clock. Okay. I had a plan to leave at 7:50 because we get there by the time of the bell. Okay. And I walked into school at first without the gun. I had it in the back seat of the car. I handed it to one of my friends, Justin Sledge. I expected to die today. Honestly, I expected Myrick to kill me. You handed your gun to Justin Sledge? No, I didn't have my gun. I handed I had written up. I'm a musician, and I also write poetry and just a bunch of other stuff. I handed it and said, "Just give this to Grant." And he's one of my friends. And I had a will written there. I had a eulogy for my funeral. And my will, I pretty much said everything. Just remember me. And I guess the world's gonna remember me now. I'm probably gonna get pretty famous. We're not there yet, so let's. I know. But and so I walked outside. I've been driving to school nervous. I hit back into my tire, hit the little side thing, whatever you want to call it. And but I just went there and got the gun, turned around, ran towards school. I yelled, "This ends now!" Ran inside the school, ran up to Christina, bam, right in the heart. She just ran in with the gun. Ran with the gun. And how'd you pick out the other people to shoot? I didn't mean to shoot. I just snapped. So you don't really know who the other people are that you shot? I remember who it is. I just didn't know at the time. But let me tell you what happened. Were you aiming at these? No, sir. It was like I was there, but I wasn't. Okay. So tell me what. I shot Lydia Dew. I don't know why. I just shot her. Turned around and I just shot off into the crowd, and I think I hit Stephanie Wiggins. I think I might hit her in the butt. And then Alan Westbrook, he's lying down the ground. He always picked on me. Always made fun of me. I just got really mad. Is he a big guy? He's a big guy. Yeah, that's all. I don't know if I killed him or not. I don't think so. I know I shot him once somewhere, and then I know I shot him in the balls or the dick or somewhere along in there, and then I shot him again. Then I put another bullet in there, and I don't think I know I told Jerry safely I wasn't going to shoot at him because he never did anything to me because he was hiding over the girlfriend, over in the corner trying to protect his girlfriend. I told him I'm not going to do anything to you, Jerry. And I took off a little down the science hall, and some guy was running down that way. I don't know who. So I said, wait a minute, what am I going this way for? So I just went out the other way, got in my car, drove off, and next thing I know, I was just trying to get out, and I didn't know what really was going on. I hit a tree, my heart came right out there. I just said, no, I don't want to die. So I just gave up, and they told me to get out of the car. I got out of the car, and I was real nice about it and everything.
So is that the only kid was shot was in there? Was there anybody at the lower elementary? Or?
No, sir. I just came up here. I like to tell you, I mean, we were hearing on the radio that, you know how. Yeah, but it was just that area. It was just there, sir. I promise you.
All right. So let me ask you this: do you? I mean, it sounded like you were pretty much together. I mean, it's like this boy.
I'm not insane, sir. Right. I knew what I was doing. I was just really pissed at the time.
You were just mad.
I'm mad.
Like when you shot the one boy, you said you shot him in the groin area, and you shot him where at the chest.
I don't know where I shot.
But you shot him several times.
3 times.
Okay. Well, why in particular did you shoot him in the groin area? Did he mess with your girlfriend? Or?
No, sir. I didn't mean to. I mean, I wasn't aiming. I can't shoot a gun very well.
Okay.
I mean, I just bam. Then I thought it hit him in the groin because oh man, like that. And I know I've been making that sound if I got shot in the groin.
Yeah.
But
And you said I want to get this other guy's name. You said Justin. Who'd you give this package?
I gave it to Justin Sledge.
Sledge?
Yes, sir.
And what grade's he in?
He is in 11th.
11th grade?
Yes.
Do you know his phone number?
No, sir. I couldn't tell you.
Do you know where he lives?
On Jeffries Drive.
You know his mother's name or father's name?
No, sir.
Anything else that you think of that I'm gonna find out or I need to know? Anything like that? I mean, is there anything that I don't know that you think I need to know, or anything like that?
Guess I've told you everything.
Okay. All right. Well, at this time, I'm going to conclude the interview between myself, Detective Hirschfeld, and Luke Woodham. And we may do another interview later on, in case I have some questions.
Yes, sir.
But right now, this concludes the interview between myself and Luke Woodham. Time is 9:07.
Horrible event that happened almost 25 years ago. In one of the first highly publicized mass school shootings. There had been ones before, but what Luke Woodham did here back in 1997 certainly has not been forgotten. Woodham was convicted of stabbing his mom to death and then driving here to the Pearl High School campus and opening fire on his classmates. He killed 2 girls, one a former girlfriend, and he wounded others before he was taken into custody. And those who were here when that happened and have dealt with the pain since say they know what it is like when they see what just happened in Texas.
Street violence is one thing, but when you go to a public school where you feel like you're going to be safe, that's the last thing on your mind is to think about being shot at.
Unfortunately, we're not nearly as shocked when we hear these things anymore, and that's certainly a bad thing. But we can do things to minimize the risk, and we can do things to be prepared in the event, God forbid, that something does happen in a particular school, that you know how to deal with it.
Yeah, that former principal says one of the positives that did come out of this horrific event was how this Pearl community pulled together after that shooting incident, how they healed and they continue to move forward to this very day. Now some almost 25 years since that incident happened. Luke Woodham serving life in prison. Live in Pearl, Scott Simmons, 16 WAPT News.